Hello everybody, it's Rega to go back to an episode of Let's Play Danganronpa MEan Play Through. So in the last episode, we had just finished off Mukuro's class trial, and then it turned out that we were the guilty party for whatever reason, and now Kyoko's down here with us, and we gotta find a way to get out of here. So let's talk to her.
However,
Once you have the second floor dorms, there are no cameras and monitors, which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. Has to do with Mukuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
however,
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had alibis, so what then? So then who did kill her?
anyway,
What I can't say for sure is the mastermind is directly involved. To begin the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. You killed?
indeed.
I stole the key and disappeared into stole that key and disappeared. And that retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me. And in that retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the whole point of the class trial. It was. The mastermind knew that they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With no more restrictions, you are free to explore Hostik Academy at your discretion.
In other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with the rules in place, they couldn't step in. So they couldn't kill me themselves. They tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound a lot like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound to the school bound to the school regulations.
hey,
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There was a point when Mukuro may have not become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have been the victim?
indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean during the night? I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. He really naturally draws me into cases, just like this.
Anyway,
Which is exactly what happened to you with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
correct.
I ran into your room and saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That was the end of things, of course. That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to whoever Master Assailant was. They ended up dead,
correct.
and their murderer was disguised, and the key to the dojo wound up in my room. All this has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. The mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try to kill you because they could interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right. That is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So does all this mean? So what does it all mean?
In other words,
It means that the mastermind is the one who was being cornered. The mastermind is the one who's being cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more, and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt Mukurova is the ultimate despair. And that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not.
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about
That's right.
what happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever was responsible for that, there's the ultimate despair.
It would seem.
That discipline goes to this is the disciple group whose only purpose purpose and motivation comes from despair. And there,
Indeed.
make no mistake, the root of all evil has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Chapter 5! Wow, I could have just finished the end of Chapter 5 right there. Wow. That's the end of Chapter 5. Alright, to be continued. But we're going to keep going because this is a new episode. You can see the Dream Island rocket present. Oh boy! The ultimate despair. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. And I know exactly who those people are, but we won't find out till the next game. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the Mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now, we have to get out of this horrible place. Figure out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. So now we go check the door again. It's locked, but we have a way to open this door. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolute vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
That's right. Then it should be able to use it right now. Hey Kyoko, you can use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko took the two Monokumas to the... yeah. And then, click. Yes, it's open!
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly open the door, and manage to escape from the garbage pit. Finally. We were finally free. But there wasn't even time to breathe, to take a breath of relief. Because the real fight had just begun. Chapter 6. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Alright, so this is the final chapter, people. We are reaching the final stretch of this game. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extended straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up to the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder and intent on reaching the surface. Oh, I like that view. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped. I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were down so far. We were so far down.
Okay.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help me keep my mind off of it. Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I came from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a scary duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come it looks like... How come? It's like your family tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. However, we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand natural in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned. And I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed. And we do what we must to protect it. Because like I said, it's a source of pride. It's our source of pride. Pride? So that explains it. Before I came here, when I looked up the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid it herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of my pride. Huh? In order to enter Host Week Academy, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something that a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Host Week Academy, This is how much you want to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I have absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reunited after all of those years, right? You would have had so much time, so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk about. There's nothing I want to talk about. There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
There is something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was on the line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented. He had a promising future.
However,
But he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument. And young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to tell you, wanted you with him.
right.
If that was true, if that's true, then I need to talk to him. Then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I had gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wanted to be able to see her. So I wasn't able to see her expression. So I could tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more than talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position would say, right? That's not true.
However,
But there's one thing I can never forgive. Really?
so...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
However,
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They saw me as a little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how I see it. That's how they see me, even to this day. His shadow's been following me for my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
Correct.
That's why I have to find him and tell him that we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, you can't just cut him out like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not heart and soul. I was shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. After that, after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
Oh, and on the other side of the door is supposed to be waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember the hatch on the ground in the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open up without much of trouble. Well, here goes nothing. Push my head up against the thing and... hatch open with ease. And so... Damn! Looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. Can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I would have never gotten out there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. So now what do we do? Now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, and I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then...
Then let's just get a concrete answer. Huh?
In other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. What? Wait, that's...
However...
If we're trying to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out. And it's not like we can run away. She said that. She pointed nearby the nearby surveillance camera. You're saying rather than stressing out over it and getting over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry. What do you think's gonna happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one ensnared. That's ensnared. The mastermind ensnared? You said something like that before. What does that mean? What does it mean?
So...
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation of Mukuro's death. There was a moment when the mastermind let their guard down. There was.
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. It'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still super uneasy about this. But we really don't have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. Alright, let's go to the gym and see what's going on. You're gonna see how pissed Monokuma will be that we escaped the trash chute. Well, let's see what's the time on the video. We've been recording for only 23 minutes. Wow, that is surprising. I thought we were recording longer than that, because that cutscene usually feels a lot longer. It's like, what the heck. I was getting a drink of water, so I apologize for that.
Well now.
Hey! Kyoko, I don't mind so much. Makoto's supposed to be dead. What is he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he would react. Are you really gonna be okay? You're supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do? If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It is so unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I'm going to punish you again, and this time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko?
Right.
Do you feel you have to? What?
However...
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
No.
If you escape Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? Huh? I lose?
Hey!
You explain yourself! What do you mean by that?
Because
Well, you set the last cast trial yourself, right? I was getting your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be the chosen Blacken, and as the Blacken, and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about?
however,
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right.
And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you retracted by proclaiming Makoto the Blacken and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No more than that. You must realize that Monokuma, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However,
But there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench in your, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined that it's possible, the possibility of being that of a being that could come out to our aid after you killed it.
am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuro. You did.
Listen to me.
So accusing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. So Black is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the Blackhead is me and not Makoto?
Well?
You can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine? To make such bloody claims without shared evidence? Without a shred of evidence?
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now. Wow, I always like this. I don't have any right now. Both a little more time, I guarantee I'll find something.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there's only one absolute truth. And now you're talking and now you're trying to talk like some famous detective types.
Because
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life. Feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you love to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me that convince me in the absence of evidence.
indeed.
It's not that I'm trying to convince you.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this be extremely displeased. Huh?
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. Though they would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
Of course, you could say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair, fair and square.
That's what we have to do.
Then I suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
Do Muroku's trial over again. Only this time, you follow school regulations and to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair.
Alright! I like the sound of that. Oh, that'll make a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown, in other words. This will be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, of the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed. Very.
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So, time for bear jokes. Now, what you suggested might be plausible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
In other words,
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause an unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain myself!
Let's have one grisly showdown. He agreed. Then we still have a shot at this.
Barrett!
Oh, but this is the long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely the fitting end.
You guys!
So, for the final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right. Every last mystery that's falling around the school. If you can do that,
I can barely contain myself!
then that'll be enough. Hullafi, as a victory for you.
it's true.
That's what I've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mystery of the school,
You guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all that, then we'll face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? I'm as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When you uncover every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? Honestly, I can't believe this is how this all turned out.
Hey,
Before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that first, sure. So what?
hey,
That's when you confirm that's what you said, right? And that's the true statement? You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything based on school regulations. And having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that. Huh? Mukuro's control is no exception, then it's part of the regulations. Which would have mean that whoever killed Mukuro. It's a very polarizing approach. I know, but it's okay. Enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants. All of them high school students. And the only people taking a single step in Host Peak Academy since the killing game began. Are those 16 students? What?
Listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why did you go quiet all of a sudden?
Now
I'm done talking! I got nothing left to say to you! So get lost, would ya? Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey!
Leave me alone! Get out of here! Okay, I'm going. You're really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore. You're not gonna get punished later anyway. I need to start getting it ready. The Super Duper special punishment overflowing with despair.
Hey.
Come on, Makoto. Let's go. Okay. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us all as we walked away. Seemed to cling to us as we walked away. And just like that, we were out of the gym. I could hardly believe it. Somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. Kyoko, thank you for everything I have right now. It's all because of you.
However,
Don't leave it just yet. The real battle's still ahead of us. Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the Mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand or gain anything from a final showdown down, do they?
so
They had no choice but to accept. Huh?
because
It's all because of that moment the Mastermind let their guard down, like I said. So when was the Mastermind let their guard down?
so
I wasn't there to hear myself, but do you remember what the Mastermind said? They said they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life outside the world. To the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that.
listen.
And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However,
And yet, somehow, the Mastermind was able to do it.
in other words,
But think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. A reason?
so
They had to show the world something no matter what, no matter the cost, us killing each other. They wanted to show the world.
it would seem
They want to show the world. The Mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly by forcing us to kill each other. And all their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. those two regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody.
In other words,
So that means the Mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other, and show that off to the world. But why?
correct.
To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point?
Hey,
The outside world has a name for students of Hope's Peak Academy, right? And the concept, and there's a certain concept. We're talking about hope, right?
that's right.
And for those of us who represented hope, to kill each other, others, and sink into despair. Mastermind wants the world to see to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That is their goal, is the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous!
It's true.
You're right, it is ridiculous, completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who can call themselves ultimate despair would devise. That group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Is that really the only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you, and yet that seems to be the motivation. That same motivation is what led to the Mastermind revealing their weaknesses. What?
In other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast a killing game to the entire their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the entire world. The Mastermind had to be particular than reasonable about their own regulations. If the Mastermind simply ignored their rules, this would have been a game, but one-sided slaughter. This would have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least,
At least that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the Mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves.
indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So instead, they tried using the class trial, following their own proper rules, to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer. They made me out to be the killer. Even that didn't work.
It's true.
Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the Mastermind took yet another risk. They took to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when the fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the Mastermind had to accept your suggestion. The Mastermind had to accept your suggestion
Indeed.
to prove to the world that despair is better than hope. They had to defeat us in a perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the Mastermind harm if to have shown that they violated their own regulations. But all that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the Mastermind to accept your challenge.
however,
Well, it's only thanks to you we got that chance, because you believed in me. Another path open. Still, I can't believe how much of the Mastermind's thoughts and plans you're able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
In the end, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet.
Whew.
But it looks like I got it right. This time, at least. I won the bet. John, a quick sigh and took a small sigh of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I show my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However...
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time.
Correct.
Or everything we've gone through would have been for nothing. You're right. If he could defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our... If he can defeat the mastermind, it will cost us our own lives. There's no option except to win.
Hey.
But before we begin our final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True. But now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone?
However...
Is that really even possible? Is that really possible? Huh? Anyway, right now, we have to go find the others.
Shall we go?
They're probably somewhere. They're probably in the dorms somewhere. Shall we go? Alright, let me take a look at... Okay, real quick, I'm going to save my game just in case. Because if it crashes, that would suck. I did not mean to quit. Oops. Well... Oh yeah, well, that was a fail.
Anyway.
Well, luckily I didn't do that much, so... I'm just gonna spam it. We'll get. It won't take that long to get back to where I kind of forgot that. I don't know why. That was kind of a fail. I don't know. I didn't mean to return to main menu. Oh, whatever. It's not gonna take that long to get back to where we were because we didn't do very much. So I went to go check the time, and I went to go save and check the time. That's what I meant to do. I'm not actually save and not reset by accident. I'm gonna make a separate save right here just in case anything happens, so I can re-record the episode if I need to. All right. So what's the time at? I think we can go ahead. I don't know if we can go ahead and end it or what. No. Okay. We're good. We can keep going. Alright, let's go to the dorms. So we just gotta go to the dining hall. That's where everybody is. And suddenly we were greeted with... You again? Is he broken? I suppose his emotional instability reached its limit. Alright then.
However,
I wonder what that was about. I couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. Ah!
Is that Makoto?
You guys!
It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto.
You survived?
Jeez, you're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right?
Everyone in there. Everyone's there. All my friends who had struggled together and survived. So this other face, I couldn't help myself. I started to tear up.
What?
Wait, what's that smell?
What the heck?
Damn, man, it seriously stinks. It's Makoto. He smells like wet dog. Get away! Shoo! Shoo! And the flash of tears dried up.
Makoto.
There's no time to indulge in said happy news. Explain to everyone what it would.
Yes.
Explain? Explain what? Explain. Explain what? Is it okay you're here? What if the mastermind catches you?
It's true.
That is really what I have to tell you all. I need to tell you all something about the last class trial. Last class trial?
In other words,
We're going to redo Mukuro's trial.
Huh?
What? Seriously?
How about that?
What's the point of redoing it? Makoto killed her, right? No, I didn't do it. Like I keep telling you.
wrong.
Makoto's the killer. And of course, it's not me or any of you. Then who is it?
I see.
What she's saying is, it was all the work of the mastermind. You're saying the mastermind killed Mukuro?
That's right.
That's right. It was all an elaborate trap contrived by the mastermind. Makoto spotted the tarp and did what he had to do to stop it.
However,
His decision meant that he would be the one to die.
What did you say?
You spotted the tarp? Did you spot the tarp, did you, Makoto? Make it sound like it was easy, just to know. The trap. Trap? Tarp, trap. I said tarp. What the fuck? Trap.
however,
Lexi Monokuma, who wasn't the Blackened, is a clear violation of the school regulations. The rules state that only the Blackened is to be executed. The Mastermind broke their own rules, which is why I went to negotiate with them to have the trial one more time.
Huh?
And the Mastermind agreed? Does that Does that mean they really did break the rules? They had no choice but to agree. You used the TV broadcast to gain the leverage. The leverage you needed, didn't you?
Correct.
Very observant of you.
Naturally.
I recall what you said at the end of the last class trial. You said, now's the mastermind that's ensnared. That's what you were referring to. That's what you were referring to.
Don't be mean!
Hey, I'm totally the dork here! For anyone who doesn't understand, you can ask Kyoko to explain it again later. So knowing all this, what do we do now?
About that.
It's about who killed Mukuro, right? So our job is to expose the mastermind. But there's one more thing, correct? Yeah. For us to win this time, we have to solve every last mystery surrounding the school. Every last mystery? But we've been looking all over around all this time, and we still don't know anything, right?
Anyway,
You probably guessed it already, but if we lose this time, everyone dies. Everyone? Hey, who said you could agree to those terms without talking to the rest of us? I'm fine with things the way they were. I'm fine with living with the master. I, meanwhile, want to get out of here as soon as humanly possible.
anyway.
Anyway, at this point, the only way for us to survive is to unravel the truth. In other words, one decisive battle, and rather interesting development, I'd say. But figure out who the mastermind but figuring out who the mastermind is, and how they killed Mukuro, and all the school mysteries. It's a pretty freaking tall order. Maybe, but this time the trial is different. We know who our enemy is now. So if we work together and search hard, as we can, I'm sure we'll solve all those mysteries. I'm not sure about that. Huh? I can't agree with the idea of working together with everyone. You can't agree? Why not? I mean, working together is what with everyone seems like the most obvious way to solve all the mysteries.
Indeed.
That's what I thought first. Until Monokuma gave us that little hint of his. Hint? The killing game began with 16 students and all the participants.
I see.
Monokuma said that, did he? And Kyoko's opinion is perfectly reasonable. Huh? But why?
So, in other words...
The mastermind really is the one who killed Mukuro, as Kyoko says. Then the mastermind would have had to set foot in this school, right? Monokuma could probably murder Mukuro, but there's no way he could have disguised the scene like that.
In other words...
But according to Monokuma, the only people we have who have set foot in Host Week Academy are the 16 students who have been taking part in the killing game. Then the mastermind is... There were 15 of us in the main hall at the very beginning, and Mukuro and you get 16, and Mukuro you get 16. So the mastermind would have to be one of them.
Right.
And out of those 16 people we started out with, the ones left still alive are the people standing here right now. Need I continue, or do you get it now? You say the mastermind is one of us?
No way!
You can't be serious. Wait. We can't say for sure if that's true yet. Monokuma might have just said that to confuse us.
Indeed.
It's certainly a possibility, but only among many. The mastermind being one of us is also a possibility. And that possibility that's one possibility we can't ignore. Yeah, I mean, you're an ultimate, right? The ultimate despair. So they must have been a high schooler. You can't say it's not possible. It's not possible. But if only one of us was the mastermind, they'd have been controlling Monokuma somehow, right? But did you ever see someone acting suspicious anytime Monokuma was active?
Well...
Maybe they snuck off and controlled him in secret.
But...
I don't care how sneaky you are, they would have noticed someone sneaking out off that many times.
I'm right, right?
Then maybe Monokuma was on autopilot. Maybe they loaded up all the dialogue and actions beforehand. In that case, there was no way he would have all those back and forth conversations with us. Well, it would be entirely possible if they directed the flow of conversation. Well, maybe, but still. Ding dong, bing bong! Alright! Here we go.
This is a school announcement. You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode. So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school. Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
Oh boy, here we go. How very magnanimous of him to unlock all the rooms.
That's fine.
The time for talk is done. Now we need to begin our investigation. But I was planning on working alone from the very beginning anyway.
In the name of my family.
At this point, I can only rely on my Tagami blood flowing through my veins. I have no time to worry about the rest of you. Each of you must uphold your responsibility.
Goodbye.
Well then. After making his final statement, Byakuya left the dining hall. Master? He didn't take me with him.
Hey.
Do you blame him? Do you blame him? Master, the rest of you all like coffee and cream without cream. Or coffee. You're totally useless! So bye. The Toko trudged out of the room of the dining hall. And oh, she's gone. Are you going off by yourself? You're going off by yourself too, right, Kyoko?
Indeed.
That's right. This leaves Makoto and Hina and me.
You know?
In that case, I would go by myself too.
Just a second.
Wait, how come?
How about that?
Just wait and see. I'm gonna need to use my totally awesome spirit power to figure out the mastermind's identity. Okay, whatever, Hero. Laughing Hero left the dining hall. Everyone's really gone by themselves. What about you, Hina? I guess I'll do the same.
But...
I mean, it's not that I don't trust everyone, you know. But up until now, I really haven't been all that useful. I just depend on Sakura and everyone else. You're not useless. If you hadn't been there, if you hadn't been here, I would have died. Makoto. That's really nice of you to say. But still, I know how I've been, how I'm mostly told, how I've mostly been totally useless.
Okay.
So if I figure out, so I figure at least here at the end, maybe I can find something that'll help us get out of here. I'm gonna go off and do it all on my own. Okay, see you later. Hina was in a surprisingly high spirits as she dashed out of the dining hall. And once again, it's just us two.
Indeed.
Indeed, yep. So you're gonna go off on your own too, right, Kyoko?
However,
Well, don't misunderstand. Just because we're going to do our searches separately does not mean we still can't work together.
so
That goes for all of us. Your investigation means we can't work together in the end. I should just see it's us as us splitting up, covering more ground, and then we can go back together, share what we found. Yeah, that's right.
so then,
Well, I better get going. I have an endless list of things I need to check.
correct.
Monokuma said all the doors in the school have been unlocked, right? So we should be able to investigate every nook and cranny of the school. We can visit all the places we couldn't go before.
Makoto.
No matter what it takes, we have to uncover the truth. By any means necessary. If that Kyoko is gone, leaving only me. I don't have time to waste either. I have to get my search. Simply the mastermind is one of us. So, we have to prove. That's what I have to prove. I'll prove that the mastermind isn't one of us. I'll expose the mastermind's true identity and solve the mystery of this school. And we can all skip together. But we will do that in the next episode. So thank you all so much for watching this episode of Let's Play Danganronpa MEan Play Through. In the next episode, we will begin the final investigation to find out what we need to do. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're liking the channel grow, subscribe. Also, make sure don't forget leaving comments you have down below. I'm Rack200. and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.